Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And you guys know I'm a DC fanboy. You guys have also been checking out this channel for any length of time. You also guys know I'm also a Whovian, right? I love Doctor Who. We do a show on Sunday nights where we review and watch classic Who at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm a little bit of a Doctor Who fan, right? And this is a show that's been going on for years at this point because we went all the way through New Who, and now we're going back all the way through classic Who. So needless to say, I'm a little bit of a fan. But boys and girls, Matt Smith was undeniably one of the incredible doctors of his era. Boys and girls, he was arguably one of my favorites, especially at the time. I liked him better than Tennant in a lot of cases and even more than Eccleston in a lot of different ways as well. And I could argue that he is probably the superior doctor of the modern era, despite the fact that I still prefer Peter Capaldi, although unfortunately he didn't get as many years as what he should have. But needless to say, Matt Smith is an incredible actor. He's got a lot of diversity. He's got a lot of range. We've seen him in House of the Dragons. He does a wonderful job in that. And so you know this is a guy that can do a little bit more. Well, we know DC's been looking for their new Brainiac for quite a while. All the rumor mills have essentially confirmed it as being nothing more than true that Brainiac absolutely will be the big bad for the next Superman Man of Tomorrow movie that's supposed to be coming out here in a couple of years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there was a lot of rumors about casting about who might end up being the Brainiac for the movie, and it looks like Matt Smith is making the final run, boys and girls, and I, for one, am very happy to see it because Brainiac is an iconic character, and Matt Smith definitely has the chops to pull off this role. So given though, as always, take this with a grain of salt. It is strictly from the rumor mill. But as you guys have seen from the track record of Cosmic Book News, That Park Place, and so many others out there, over and over and over again, more often than not, especially when it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery, the rumor mill is almost always true, boys and girls. So we're going to check out this article from CosmicBook.News and our dear sweet Will Harrigan. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,400. We're inching our way closer and closer to 25. I think we're sitting at like 2,460, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. And what do you think about this? Do you think Matt Smith would be the perfect embodiment of Brainiac? Do you think he'd actually be able to pull off a live-action Brainiac properly, or do you think there's better actors out there for the role? Are you excited about Man of Tomorrow? Did you think it'll actually end up being good after what we've seen from James Gunn's DC? Do you think all of this could end up being completely and totally changed because of the new deal that's going on right now with Warner Brothers Discovery and who they're going to end up getting bought by, whether Netflix, who currently seems to be the favorite, right, or seems to be the primary target right now, or if the regulations will get in the way, and who knows what ends up going forward with all of that. But let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a member down below. Boys and girls, Common Nerd has been doing this for about 3 years full time now, and this is the first couple of months where things have ever gotten truly tight. This channel only exists because of member support out there, like all of you fabulous folks. So if you enjoy seeing Common Nerd 7 days a week, if you enjoy all of our evening streams and all of the other things that we do around here, please check out the memberships down below. You can get one for like $2. We need to hit that 100 member mark by the end of December so that we can continue bringing you content 7 days a week. So please consider becoming a member down below. All right, boys and girls, from CosmicBook.News and our dear sweet Will Harrigan. The search for Brainiac in Man of Tomorrow has taken another turn. A new report claims that Matt Smith is now the frontrunner to play the iconic supervillain. The update comes from scooper Daniel RPK, following earlier claims from Nexus Point News that several actors were on the short list. So Daniel RPK has a pretty decent track record. Sometimes I feel like he's a little bit more of an industry shill and is trying to put out the information to test the waters. But at the end of the day, if that is the case, and that is what he's doing, and he's doing it for Warner Brothers Discovery like he's done for Disney in the past, well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this fan would like to see Matt Smith in DC. It would be a wonderful character for him and would be a lot of fun to see him coming back for as well in the future. And I apologize for my voice, boys and girls. Common Nerd's been off and on sick this week with all these weather changes, and it's just no fun at all. Nexus Point News previously reported that Claes Bang, Matt Smith, and Sam Rockwell were among the names being considered for the role. Bang was rumored early to be one of the actors preparing to test, but with the latest info, it appears Smith may have pulled ahead. And honestly, I don't know much about this other guy as far as Claes Bang is concerned. I don't really recognize his face, which I think this was the other one. Over here, yeah, Clace Bang. He kind of looks familiar, and I probably saw an actual picture of the actor. Let's just look him up real quick. Common Nerd's going to do it live. Let's pull up Clace Bang and see what he looks like. We're probably going to recognize him from something. This is probably something I should have done, but you get Common Nerd raw and unedited. Isn't that one of the fun parts around here, boys and girls? Let's find out who this guy is real quick here. Boom. Class Bang. Oh, okay. I've seen him around. I don't really recognize him from too terrible and many things, but I've seen him around. I've seen him in a couple of things. So, I mean, at least as far as what I know from Matt Smith's acting talents and stuff like that, I'd much rather have him around for this kind of role. But that's just because I don't know the guy. No shade on him. I just don't know the guy all that well. So needless to say, it looks like Matt Smith is impressing people out there just as much as he impressed all of the Doctor Who fans out there with being what he was, the youngest Doctor in the history of the show ever to get cast as the role. And there was a lot of fans that were severely worried about that when he was announced. There was also a lot of people that were super excited about it, and just like every other Doctor out there, you've got those moments where everybody's really unsure at the first, but man, by the end of that first episode, Matt Smith absolutely crushed it. I mean, calling the Atraxi back to a planet just to tell them off and going, run, right? I'm the Doctor. Basically, run. Like, just solidified it for me. So he nailed it right from the get-go on that one, and I think he could pull off the exact same thing with Brainiac. Obviously, the character in Doctor Who was drastically different, right? His Doctor was drastically different from Brainiac, but we've seen him in House of Dragon, and he can pull off a very good villain. Very menacing, very ominous, and just a great presence overall. I honestly wasn't sure how I was going to think about it. Although, despite some of my issues with House of the Dragon, I think Matt Smith absolutely crushes in that show. So, yeah. Daniel RPK states that Matt Smith is currently the top choice for Brainiac as Warner Brothers and DC Studios continue casting ahead of the film's spring shoot. While no deal is in place, hearing Smith as the frontrunner suggests the studio is leaning towards a specific interpretation of the villain. Smith has become a go-to performer for larger-than-life transformative characters. His work on Doctor Who and House of the Dragon shows his range between eccentric, menacing, and unpredictable. And honestly, depending on what version of Brainiac you're talking about from particular Spider-Man era or run, this is very much embodies just the kind of broad strokes of the different kind of Brainiac. I mean, if you can go back to the Superman, the animated series, the Brainiac you even saw in that goes a little eccentric, especially when he realizes he's dying and he's about to lose. So this would actually work out really, 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 really nicely. It's also been reported Smith was supposed to play a younger, possibly cloned version of Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I'd never heard that one before, but that's wild. And if it wasn't for the star power of the actor that plays Palpatine, it might have ended up happening, and honestly probably would have made a lot more sense. But God, those movies are just an absolute mess. Let's just be nice and say the Disney Star Wars movies are a mess. Okay, that's putting it very nicely. A Brainiac played with cold alien intelligence would fall comfortably within that wheelhouse, which is what we need. His physical presence, angular features, and ability to shift between calm charm and unsettling intensity have already made him a favorite in fan discussions. And I mean, yeah, even with just as his role as the Doctor, you saw him do that, right? You saw him flip from those moments where he's the Tigger, the jovial, bouncing around, fully energetic, essentially kid, versus those moments where things go sideways. Demons run anyone? Like, holy cow. Where you really start to see those War Doctor aspects of Matt Smith's Doctor come out. Yeah, he can pull off a Brainiac just fine, boys and girls. Absolutely just fine. Man of Tomorrow flies into theaters on July 9th, 2027. Written and directed by James Gunn. The confirmed cast: David Cornsweet, Superman, Frank Grillo. Confirmed as Rick Jack Flag. We already know, right? The story follows Superman and Lex teaming up to take a larger threat, which of course is why all of this makes sense for Brainiac. Because what other excuse you're going to get Lex, who absolutely hates Superman, who really hates aliens in general, right? Who else would cause enough of a cosmic threat other than Brainiac, or a planetary threat other than Brainiac, to literally pull those two together? This would be it. And Matt Smith playing the character is just perfect. It's just spot on. You know, there's one thing, despite my issues with the DC universe, despite my issues with Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and I did enjoy Superman. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I liked the movie. But despite my issues with Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, the casting for the DC universe has just been spot on. like Rachel Brosnan, David Cornsweet, like our Lex Luthor, right? All of these guys have just, even our Jimmy Olsen. We got a ginger Jimmy Olsen, boys and girls. Yeah, we still didn't get our Perry White that was white, but, sometimes you can only ask for so much in modern Hollywood. But outside of that, the casting was spot on. Whoever's doing the casting, whoever's making these final decisions inside of Warner Brothers needs to be elevated, needs a pay raise, needs a bonus, because you guys are crushing it when it comes to the casting. Unfortunately, you have James Gunn hanging around your neck the entire time. That giant, massive albatross, right, just pulls you all kinds of things. That millstone that's just weighing you right down into the ground, right? We saw what happened with Creature Commandos. We saw what happened with Peacemaker. How'd that work out? Yeah, but needless to say, boys and girls, this is a shot in the arm. Matt Smith is a well-known actor, even now in the Americas, besides the Doctor Who fans, also House of the Dragon, which has been one of arguably the most successful shows for HBO Max ever, and absolutely within the last 10 years. So this is a well-known name. This could bring in some levity. The other guy, I recognize his face, but I don't know him. And I know it's not just Doctor Who fans that know Matt Smith. House of Dragon is huge. So it's one of those situations where the guy's got the role. He's got the chops. He's got the ability to be able to do this kind of thing. Would I love to see him as Brainiac? Absolutely. Does it sound like these rumors may more than likely he's going to end up being our final cast? Yeah. This is the exact same rumor mill that we knew about Rachel Brosnan, David Cornsweet, and the entire rest of the cast. We knew about the main four right before any of this stuff ever really went down, or at least the main three. Before any of it went down, right? And David Cornsweet was always the big favorite. Nicholas Hoult kind of wanted the Superman role, but he ended up getting Lex Luthor, and we're all okay with that. The casting's spot on, and Matt Smith would be a perfect Brainiac as well. And trust me, DC, considering the current state James Gunn has put you in, the one thing you need more than anything else is to make the fans happy. And if James Gunn can get out of his own way, Matt Smith could give us one of the most incredible live-action adaptations of Brainiac ever. And boys and girls, the Doctor would absolutely crush that. As to whether or not this movie will end up being a success or end up borderlining flopping like the last Superman movie, well, boys and girls, the fans will decide, and it'll only be a matter of time before we find out which, if any, of all of this is true. But at the end of the day, no matter who they cast, boys and girls, fans will decide what succeeds and what fails. We already made Warner Brothers bankrupt once, after all. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like and subscribe or follow button, depending on what platform you're on. And, of course, a big shout-out to all of our subscribers and members. You are the grease between our gears, keeping this machine running, and I could not do this without every single one of you.